There's nothing like looking in the rearview mirror and just seeing a whole bunch of bikes and then seeing a lot of pink. I love that.
In the middle of the heat wave a couple weeks ago, the Pony Express relay team, hosted by the Women's Motorcyclist Foundation, rolled into Plano. Taking their name and attitude from a pioneering organization that was known for its courage, the relay is a cross-country motorcycle endurance ride and fundraiser for the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation.
You'll come down about 6 blocks. You're in the 900 block is the shop, okay? So you're still really basically on, you just came down a little farther south.
This all started when Jen and Sue and 2 other women rode from, I guess, Rochester to the Pacific Ocean to the Arctic Ocean. Not just the circle, the ocean. Touched their boots in it, selling pins for Komen, and they raised $25,000, and nobody knew about them yet.
They all got off at 15th. All right. We thought the pinnacle would be, reaching Arctic waters and sticking our toes in that cold water, and instead it was a launch site.
Like the original Pony Express of the 1800s, the relay is divided into 100-mile sections called legs.
These people sign on for a reason. This is not a walk in the park. They don't come out and ride in 106 degrees because this is a fun ride. They come out because they're motorcyclists and they can use their passion towards something beyond themselves.
I'm a 17-year breast cancer survivor and got my motorcycle license literally to do this ride. Can't do the whole country, but I shipped my bike out to California and rode with them from Sacramento down to San Diego.
The 17 ribbons, it's 1 ribbon for each year of my survivorship, and then I have butterflies all over it because my mom was crazy about butterflies and she died of breast cancer.
I'm doing this ride in honor of Tori Lynn McCarthy. She's in San Diego, California. She's my cousin, my second cousin actually, and she has breast cancer, both sides.
These are retroreflective, so a helmet or whatever.
I'm a survivor and I like to get involved in all the activities regarding breast cancer. And what makes this really exciting is this week is my 5-year anniversary of survivorship.
I lost a very dear friend of 30-something years a few months ago to breast cancer.
My mother passed away in 1973 with breast cancer. I have 2 daughters and a daughter-in-law and grandchildren, and I think it's a worthy cause. It's something that needs to be taken care of, and they need to find a cure.
We get breast cancer too, and certainly the women in our lives get breast cancer.
Well, welcome everybody, thank you. That was a long, hot ride for us and pretty impressive you guys put up with it. It was hot out there. I heard about it on the internet, and my friend Donna Soltura up in Vermont, we're both from Vermont, said let's do that, and we went and rode with Pony Express and Jen and Sue for 3 days, and at the end of those 3 days we signed on to the steering committee because we just were blown away by how well they do this job.
We know if we're going to be staff, we will do everything that needs to be done to make this happen and to make the riders have a wonderful experience. That's what we do. Good morning. It's another morning at 5:30 in the morning on the Pony Express, and as usual we're about 5 minutes behind, but we're ready to go. Looks like we're getting a lot more people than we expected. On some days we have had no riders and all staff. Some days we have more staff than riders, and other days we may have 50 or 60. We never know. What we do this morning is go through a riders meeting of our ride rules that we would like you to follow. I'm sure if you're in clubs you have other ride rules.
I think what the beauty of the Pony Express is everybody takes a piece of ownership. It's part of the grassroots network, and that's the way we get most of our sponsors, by word of mouth. Hey, I'm doing this, would you take a look at what I'm doing?
Every penny raised by the riders goes directly to the Komen Foundation to be used in the fight against breast cancer.
The money that from each area that the people collect for donations stays in our area instead of going into one big fund for the Susan Komen Breast Cancer Foundation.
Getting sponsors is the first hurdle the riders must face. Each rider raises donation funds, but they are responsible for their own expenses during the ride, and the ride itself can be daunting.
It's an endurance ride to really say this is what women go through when they go through treatment for breast cancer, and we can do it to raise money for research. And so it was very much remembering a lot of the things I went through.
How are there even words for what's happening here, for what we're doing, for what I'm feeling?
At each stop, riders take part in the medallion pass ceremony. It is both an uplifting and humbling experience.
This is Suki's box. Suki was a furniture maker, and when she died, her very good friend made this for her in honor of Suki. We do the medallion pass using this box to bring the medallion, the 4 pieces of the medallion back together and then pass on to the next team. Bill Bond and Tina Bond, our staff member right here, he couldn't stand seeing this in a paper bag at his house when Pony Express went through, so he had his mother, who was a survivor, make this bag. So we carry it as 2 parts of the family that contribute to the process here with Pony Express.
The medallion has 4 parts: a horseshoe to acknowledge breast cancer survivors, the ring of memory in honor of those lost to the monster breast cancer, a second horseshoe to represent the future without breast cancer, and the heart of the medallion.
The heart of the medallion has a one-breasted woman archer aiming for a cure.
One of my good friend's wife is a survivor. That's why I'm here.
What happens with bringing the medallion together is it represents the united front that it's going to take to beat this monster breast cancer. But we know that there are many of you out in the audience that have waged battle with the monster at a very personal level. And we also know that despite your communities, your support systems, your oncologists, your surgeons, your co-workers, there are many miles that you really have to walk alone. So as each rider carries forth with their piece of medallion, we're respecting the individual battles that have been waged at that very personal level.
My name's Karen Mahaffey, and I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm a 2-year breast cancer survivor. I'm riding for a number of my friends who are survivors and my dear sister that I lost to breast cancer this past May.